Saints fans, we've squared the ledger at 4-4 after winning a Friday night blockbuster against the Dockers.
Yes.
With a riveting 2-27 scoreline at halftime. We ended up running away with it, won by about 10 goals in the end. Jakey, how are we feeling?
Feeling awesome. That was a nice response, wasn't it? All the week leading up to it. Ross, did he do the right thing with Garcia? The players going to respond? Is the crowd going to turn up? It kind of turned up a little bit, 20,000, but didn't expect to get that result. Yeah. That was a major shock for me. I was still skeptical of Freo on the road, but I didn't think we'd do it that comfortably and for 4 straight quarters, you know. And like what you said, it was a Friday night blockbuster. We should be getting more marquee games. We're getting Friday night this week as well.
It's so good to win one. It's so good to win because it feels like it's been a while since we've won a Friday night game.
2022.
There you go.
Was the last time. I think it might have been against Carlton, ironically, but that was nice to keep him to that score. I was disappointed we conceded that goal late.
I know, like 3 in the last quarter. We were bringing out the history books for a second there.
Yeah,
we're looking like we were going to break a record. But let's just get straight into it. Oh man, I know the casual AFL fan hated watching that, and honestly, fair enough. But I absolutely loved it. It was classic Ross Lyon. This is what Saints footy is. It was just a dogfight, to be honest. That the defense that we've prided ourselves on the last 2 years looks like it was back, and our offense actually got going. What we need now is consistency from Owens, from Sharman. Higgins has shown that he can do that throughout the first 8 weeks of the season. But yeah, man, I don't care that the chopsticks were in the eyes or whatever it is. Well, I loved it. It was so good to watch.
Before we get into the actual game, I just want to address that. Why are people complaining? What is Friday night supposed to be? A 1-point game. It's supposed to be a blockbuster. Yeah. We kicked 94 points. We won by 10 goals. We did what we needed to do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think people are mad at us. Right?
I'm fighting back. I'm looking at you down the lens there, and I'm saying get stuffed because that was good football. And if you're on the winning team and that's what your team's dishing up, you're loving it.
Yeah, exactly, and we did.
I'll take that every week.
If people are mad at us, then stuff them. Freo, they didn't turn up. So, well, did they not turn up, or did we just
that's the thing.
Suppress them? I
watched Jeff White's breakdown on YouTube, which was incredible. So if you haven't watched it, check it out. I know you're into that sort of stuff.
Yep.
I don't know what that means, but check it out.
The analytics, I love it. Yep.
Yep. And he broke down the way we were defending, and it was phenomenal. It was so disciplined. I couldn't believe for the entire game we played 1-on-1.
Yeah.
And even my uncle, I'll give him credit. When we're struggling in games, he'll mention, why are we zoning? Why are we guarding space? Guard the man, because what's going to hurt you, the man or space?
Yeah.
And we just continually found the next opponent. And like there was an example where Wilkie was pushing up the ground, but then his opponent was coming back. So Dukes yelled at Wilkie saying, you stay there, take my man, and I'll take yours. So it was this constant communication, and everyone was on the same wavelength from front to back. And to have what was the clearance differential in the end?
It was like 30-something.
Plus 28 or something. And then ground ball gets was a record for us, I think, plus 46.
Unheard of. We'll get to all that.
Nuts.
I want to give Ross Lyon so much credit for this win. I think there's 2 things that happen. Everyone says during the week, on paper, St Kilda, they're no good, whatever. So I think 2 things are true from that. One, I think our list is a little bit underrated. We've got a lot of work to do, but our list is a little underrated because, like you said, 1 out of the first 8 games we've been favourites and we've won 4. So clearly the list is a bit better than people think it is. 2, we have an awesome coach. We talk about it after every win, as we should, but he's a great coach. And to jump on someone else's analytics, Lee Montagno on First Crack, clearly the midfield was, lacking in a big way for us the last 2 weeks. So what did we do this week? Clearly we're coming up against, a big, I don't know how to describe them because they were so poor on Friday, but a good solid midfield, Brayshaw, Sarong, etc.
Hayden Young, who went out.
Young. So what we did is we brought two half forwards up to the contest, a half back up to the contest, crowded it so Sarong, Brayshaw couldn't just do what they want. They couldn't get the ball on the outside, run rampant. We shut them down, and then we won the game from the inside.
And then got it out.
And then got it out ourselves. And I mean, Jack McRae's having some season.
Yeah, and even did you see David King trying to get credit out of Kane Corns? Like, is that a decent game? It's like, I guess that's what you get, Jack. It's like, no.
He said, he played his role well.
25 contested. I think that's second or third all time.
Yeah.
Or at least
and
since
10
champion
coaches'
title.
votes, of course.
And 10 coaches' votes. That's a ridiculous game from him. But we had players like that on every line. Like Callum Wilkie, first of all, like on one of the most informed full forwards in the competition, keeps him to 6 touches and no score.
Yep. And
That's
he was
crazy.
rewarded with the first time he's ever got to sit on the bench all season. So
Yes. Yeah, what, he played 99% of the game? I think something like that, and they just pulled him off in the last minute. I love that also Ross didn't use the sub this week.
Yeah.
Complete opposite to the week
In my
before.
head, I was like, oh, yeah, I guess they'll play Travalia the full VFL game. And then I was like, someone told me it's a bye this week anyway. So I'm like, okay, well.
So he just sat on that.
It's just a flex, yeah.
I think that just shows that Ross was confident that Filippo was probably going to play.
Yeah.
And that if Filippo doesn't play, then we'll just settle with what
Well,
we've got.
actually, he did say in his press conference that he wasn't confident. He said that he Philippou called him like at midday on Friday and said, I can't get up. And Ross's response was, it's all right, I never had you in anyway.
So, cool. Yeah. So we probably prepared for that.
Yeah. Which, I mean, fingers crossed he comes in this week. We'll talk about that later. I don't think we can go much further without talking about Cooper Sharman. It's just another one of those Cooper Sharman games. He's done it against Freo before, had one against Essendon maybe a year or two ago. It's so good to see, but part of me is like, can we get a bit more consistency from your Coops? Because some games you just go missing, but it was I haven't seen it before where a player like Cooper Sharman type player jumps to the ball and the whole crowd is audibly gasping. Oh, what's going to happen next? Like in that last quarter, it was getting pretty exciting. He took a ripper. Of course, he couldn't kick that goal, but what a game from him.
Yeah, someone in the comments after the game I saw was like he was having a sort of Rui game where it was just like that was that sort of thing you're saying, whereas when he's flying for it and the crowd's getting involved, it's Roo. Yeah. We need to come up with something for him. What is it like?
Coops.
Coop. Yeah, that actually isn't bad. Do it this Friday, Sanders. But he had a phenomenal game and he could have kicked, like you said, he could have kicked 6 or 7.
Yeah.
He kind of caps
and how
at 4.
about the Ackermanis celebration after the goal?
And he's getting
of the year
stitched
contender.
up for it too.
What's he get? What's the stitch up?
Oh, everyone's just like, it's nowhere near as good as Acker's goal. So, I didn't realise that was the rule.
I don't think he's claiming that it is, but
yeah.
I mean, that was some goal and some game from him. You gave him credit. He deserves credit. Mitch Owens. And it just sort of flew under the radar because Cooper was so good. But I said at the top of the show, we want more consistency from Owens. But this year, he actually has been pretty consistent, I would say.
Every time we've won, he's kicked 2 or more goals.
Okay. Yep.
He's kept goalless in a couple of losses. So he's almost a little bit of a barometer for us. When he's on, we're winning. And when he's off, we're losing. But he's got 14 already in 7 weeks. He had 20 for the total of last season. His career high is 26. If we get 30 to 40 goals out of him this year, how good is that?
Yeah.
And he's still pushing up the ground and impacting contest at the same time. We all thought, is he going to be forward? Is he going to be mid? Guess what? He might actually just be a bit of both and be very good at both.
Yeah. And I've never been more comfortable with just the way there was a huge talking point about, should he be a midfielder? Oh, I can't believe he's going into the ruck.
Yeah.
I'm sort of at the stage where I'm like, I just trust Ross that he's gonna do what's best for him right now because we're actually seeing that improvement from him. Felt like it staggered for a bit last year, but we're seeing that improvement. I'm like, okay, if he needs to go and play 10 minutes in the ruck during a game, whatever. He hasn't gotten injured yet. No. Hopefully it stays that way. But yeah, it's been mostly all good from him. And this Hugo Garcia thing has just become some storyline, hasn't it? I honestly thought it was the biggest non-story, and I still think that at least the beginning of it, you got to spray whatever. Honestly, who cares? I love Ross in his weekly presser going, just letting everyone know Hugo Garcia's alive. He's well. I thought that was great, but he had a great game.
What a response. And the goal,
the goal was fantastic, and the rising star this week. I didn't even know he was eligible for that.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, Box, we'll talk about him, but he wouldn't have been too far off that too. But And the rundown tackle from Garcia, that was almost more important than the goal, and everything else was that chase on Shai Bolton and pushed him out of bounds on the full.
Yeah.
That was huge because I don't think anyone else had that desire to get Shai, and he did.
Yeah.
And he was just one of many that was breathing fire for the entire game and didn't give up. It was ridiculous.
It was just so satisfying to see him play well. It felt like the Hugo Garcia that we've come to know. Last week was, obviously the opposite of that. But yeah, standout performance from him. That goal as well. Not only was it a great goal from him, but it was like, if you look at the state of, or the stage of the game that was in, the game was dead. It was the end of the last quarter. And that was just us working hard. Freo could not be bothered anymore. And we just said, no, we want to kick a few more. Garcia got on the end of it. So satisfying to see. And we talked about, how is he going to respond to this spray as if, AFL players can't take spray. Of course they can. It's, if
Ross knows what he's doing.
Yeah, exactly. And clearly he's responded well. During the week, Ross was saying that, if the media, Garcia was saying that if the media talks to me, I'll just say, yeah, I was shit. So that's his sort of attitude,
Yeah, and we forget, like, a coach like Ross, he's spending every day with these players. He knows which levers to pull at what time. So he may not be able to do this to Hugo for the rest of the year. He may not even need to, because that's that line in the sand sort of moment for Hugo to be like, shit, and it's almost like a compliment. It's like, anytime like I watch you watch those inspirational movies and whatever, and the teacher's always harsher on one student than the others. It's because he sees so much potential in that student. Yeah. Watch Whiplash. Have you seen that?
I've seen the end of it, yeah.
Have you seen the end?
No, I saw it.
Yeah, well, the drummer. Anyway, go and watch that. But that's exactly the same thing, where the angrier he gets, the more, he's pushing for these players to deliver. It's because he's like, because you can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I have seen that whole movie. It's just the end that stuck out to me. Anyway, I didn't think we were going there, but cool.
I love my analogies. What can I say?
Great game from Garcia. Let's talk about the box.
Yeah.
We've been waiting, or at least I have. I've been waiting all year for him to play. I picked him at least maybe 4 times out of the 8 rounds. Yeah, I still think he should have debuted earlier, but we'll let it go. He's earned his spot. Truly earned his spot and played well. I hope he doesn't go anywhere.
No,
he should. I think the box is here to stay.
Yeah. It's delivered. It's ready. It's all
the
unboxed.
Box analogies.
We've unboxed. Yeah, how many times can we say that? But yeah,
that's cool.
He didn't have like that star X factor game, but it was just brute force. It was like he'd played 50 to 100 games already. Yeah. He was laying the tackles. He got a couple of free kicks. His kicking was pretty nice.
It was.
And there was a couple of quick handball moments that made him look like a seasoned player. Like, it's not his first game. It's not his first rodeo. He knows what it takes. And maybe that stints, like, we always criticize Ross for, he should have played him round 1 maybe. But how much better is he now? You know what I mean? Like, how much did he learn in that VFL stint, getting the 30 every week, getting 5 tackles, playing with other senior players that are trying to get back into this team? Maybe we just go, like Filippo.
Yeah, that could have just been what
Big
he
tick.
needed.
Like 100%.
Exactly. And, it's one game. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I don't care. I'm going to. What he reminds me of, and he's getting a lot of hate recently, which still don't understand why. So unappreciated.
I know where this is going.
Our skipper.
Yeah.
He does remind me of our skipper a bit, and which I love. I think, Steele obviously is getting on. I think he's still got plenty of good years ahead of him, but Boxall I could see being, a potential Steele replacement years down the line. He's just got that same contested element to his game mixed with, clean ball use. I know that some people might think that's controversial, but
That's what it looks like.
I'm going to put it on him. I think he could be a future Jack Steele.
He literally looks like him.
Yeah.
Like when we drafted him, I'm like, that guy looks like Jack Steele, but he also plays like him.
And hearing in the preseason, before we'd seen him in a pracky or anything, I think Steele had a press conference and he said, who's challenging you at training? And he said, Hugh Boxall's really coming along. So potentially, he's taken him under his wing. Well, I mean, of course he has, but I'm just going to put that one on him after his debut. I think there's a lot of potential to be unlocked there.
I don't think. To me, if he delivers that every week, he's not being moved.
Yep.
He's not even going to be the sub. He's going to be playing full minutes every week, and that's what we need. We need to get more into these kids. Garcia, Boxall, Windy. I mean, I thought he bounced back really nicely. He played sort of on the wing at times, and I love that a lot of people that didn't watch the game assumed we tagged. But we didn't. Yeah. We actually didn't tag Sarong or Brayshaw. We just did what you said, where we kind of congested the contest and then exploded on the outside. And that's the way, I think maybe that's a blueprint that we can use against these more star-studded sort of midfields. And I mean, we're playing another one coming up, so it'll be interesting to see if we do kind of stick with that plan.
No, exactly right. And I just think the last 2 weeks were woeful, and I think there's a lot more to it than just saying, they weren't trying hard enough, these AFL players. Of course they're trying. There's a lot going on, but I think our midfield is capable of so much more than what it had showed. I think it is better than what people think it is. Definitely got a long way to go. But this game, the Geelong game, the one against Port, that's the blueprint to say our midfield can be competitive against, pretty elite opposition midfield. So, yeah, let's keep getting games into Boxall, into Garcia, into Windy.
Yeah, and look at who, like, the opposition we played in the last 2 weeks in particular. Look at the Dogs. They're absolutely flying. They're playing, to me, top 2 football at the moment. They're killing teams.
Agreed.
And good teams they're beating well, which is scary. And then you look at Brisbane and they're what, 8-1 or 7-1 after 8-9 weeks? Like,
top of the ladder.
They're in cruise mode. And and we lost to them by 7 goals. So I'm not saying you overlook those games, but I'm just saying in the context of the season, we're beating teams that we should, probably, and we're losing to teams that maybe we're not quite at yet. But if we play the Bulldogs again, I'd be very keen to see how we go about it in 5 weeks' time.
I think if you look at where each team is, positioned on the ladder, who we've played, the fact that we're 4-4, I'm not forgetting that we were woeful in some of those games, and that those concerns I'm sure are still being addressed. But to be 4-4, we're in a good position.
Yeah.
Look at the next 4 games. We've got Carlton, West Coast,
the Suns,
remind me, the Suns,
and Melbourne.
Yeah.
Only one of them a marvel, disappointingly, but I mean, nonetheless,
home game at the G. We like playing there.
Yeah.
I think we should really be looking at winning 3 out of 4, at least 3. You beat West Coast. You beat Melbourne, you got to take care of those teams, even though Melbourne's playing some better footy now.
The worst case, absolute worst case, would be 6-6.
Yeah.
So we lose 2 and win 2.
So what would we be otherwise? 7-5. Yeah. Yeah. I think if we want to play finals, which obviously we do, you got to go 3-1 in these next 4, which I think we're more than capable of. That Alice Spring games is sort of concerning just because that venue is so dicey, and we've been screwed over there before because they didn't have goal line technology. But anyway, we've got plenty to talk about in terms of the future. But what else do we have to say about this game?
I mean, it was probably our first main 4-quarter performance. Like when I look at all of our wins, I look at Geelong, I look at Port, Richmond. Richmond, you look at the scoreboard, but in isolation, that game, we did it in the second half.
Yep.
Geelong, we blew them out early, and they came storming back. Port was the same. We blew them out early, came storming back. This was our first game of, maybe we didn't get the reward early, but we persisted with that method for 4 quarters, and in the end, the damn wall broke.
Yeah.
Which is kind of the opposite of what's been happening to us. Inside 50s, clearances, tackle count was pretty strong, even though we had the ball for a lot more than Fremantle. That to me is almost the biggest positive out of the game. Yeah, was that it wasn't we didn't blow them away with 8-1 in the last to make it look better than it was. It was just consistently
4 quarters of domination.
Brutal, tough finals like football, and that's the closest 2009-10 type football game I've watched.
Yeah,
it reminded me of Fremantle Saints 09. I think it was 110-28, and I remember vividly that night Melbourne Storm in the rugby scored more than we allowed Fremantle to score, and I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, right.
That's
all right.
It's a similar style of game.
Callback.
Yeah, I don't know. My mind goes places.
No, I do agree with you. At halftime, I was not concerned. I was telling the people around me, I like the way we're playing. I think if we keep this up, we'll win this game. And like you say, the damn wall broke, and the scoreboard, it didn't flatter us at all. Like that was representative of what was happening in the game. I think it's important to note the return of Dougal Howard. That has helped us so much with height, but just that added defense. He's played, I don't think he's been out long term at all the last 2 years, maybe for a week or 2.
Bits and pieces.
Him and Cal Wilkie are really the anchors of that defense. Obviously, Josh Battle was a part of that too. So removing Battle and Howard for the first 6 weeks, that's a struggle for Callum Wilkie to carry that entire back line. With not a lot of support. So Howard coming back in, I think, is an underrated element to our success on Friday night.
Absolutely. It just means that Cal can pick and choose his moments, when to roam. And like I said, that example before, that communication between the two of them, if he's not there and Kamanides back there, is that same synergy there? Probably not.
As good as Caminiti has been.
Yeah, and it's just because he's not down there and he hasn't trained with Wilkie for 3 years like Dukes has. And just having that height, when a player looks up, and they want to get it in there, they're like, Wilkie's there, and he's undersized, but he's the best defender, one of the best in the comp. I don't want to kick it in his zone, but then Dukes is there. It's like, it makes it trickier for them to go in. So when our midfield pressure is strong and you've got that height and structure behind the ball, the opponent's second-guessing themselves, which is perfect for us.
No, for sure. Another flavour we added to our back line. Something
The ingredient just dropped into the pot.
Ross just dropped it in there. Something I flagged in the predicted 23 is I said, do not be surprised if Liam O'Connell gets picked. I think he's one of Ross's favourites. He's not a superstar by any stretch, but I think he's just one of those role players, like you say, that Ross just loves, like a Ronnie Burns type. Just in terms of like that, just playing a role for a very specific role for the team. He came in, didn't set the world on fire, but I just like what he brings to the team. I like it. He definitely didn't do anything spectacular on the weekend, but I think he's pretty level-headed for a guy that didn't necessarily grow up playing AFL.
No, and every game he's played 4 games. Guess which games he's played?
4 wins?
Yeah.
Wait, no, because he played Adelaide, didn't he? He's 3-1.
Oh.
He's 3-1
So he's
because
4-1.
he got knocked out.
He's 4-1 in 5?
He got knocked out in the Richmond game, round 3.
I'm giving that to him though. We still won.
No, of course, but he didn't play in the point. I'm saying he's 3-1. He's 3-1.
He's 3-1?
Yep.
Oh, so he missed a win.
Still relevant.
Damn
Still
it!
relevant.
I thought he played everyone. Yeah, thanks for running that stat.
3-1, pretty good.
But yeah, you need those role players. And I did read a comment online. It was a great comment. I don't know if I screenshot it. I'll check later. But it was very much about you need Hollywood in a team, but you also need role.
Absolutely.
Right? And some teams have just Hollywood, all right? And their role sucks. We know which teams those are. I'm thinking we've built the role, but we had moments of Hollywood, and that Hollywood was Sharman flying. Yeah. Mitch Owens' snap, by the way, that last goal, that snap 45 out on the turn.
Oh, I was
that's
sitting
ridiculous.
in the perfect
That's not
angle to watch that too.
That's not an easy goal.
No.
Late in the game, you just throw in the towel. You go, I can't be stuffed. But to snap it like that,
yeah,
that's Hollywood, and we're just Naz is Hollywood. Sinks when he's up and about. We're starting to, and people say, oh, you don't have that A grader. Is it A grade or do we just need X factor?
Yeah.
Because what's A grade really? It is X factor, isn't it?
Yeah. It's like, I don't know, it's pretty subjective.
I think that's the most
anyway.
overrated discussion and that's the thing that tires me to death is I was saying it's, they're all B graders, C graders and no stars. I'm like, you don't watch us enough.
It's just so like, it's just oversimplifying the situation to just say, oh, if you get an A-grade midfielder, that'll solve everything. It's like, so you're saying you just throw like, I don't know, Zach Butters into our midfield and everything's fixed?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I mean,
it'll be good, but...
Yeah, the teams we've beaten have had better midfields and better stars.
Yeah.
And we're playing another one coming up.
Yeah.
If we beat them, what? We must have some pretty good players.
That's what I'm saying. I think, Ross is a good coach and our list is a little underrated.
We have an A-grade coach.
That's true.
How many A-grade coaches are in the comp?
Yeah, well...
4?
I don't think Freo have an A-grade coach, but...
No, but that's the thing. That's a factor, and that's why
agreed.
You go into every game. Do you ever think we're going to be out-coached?
No.
I don't worry about the coaching. I don't worry about the game plan. What I worry about is stuff that can be fixed and will improve every week, which is execution and effort. You bring the effort, I'm okay with some mistakes.
Yeah.
And I know that Ross has a game plan that, if executed well, will beat the other team.
Yeah.
Which is exciting and makes us all feel a little bit more comfortable, with what we've got, what we're working with.
Yeah. I just got to say, Friday night, like that is just the ideal night for a Saints fan. Friday night in itself is a great time to play footy. Yeah, I went straight from work to the game. So relaxing. That last quarter was so much fun, sitting with my grandma, my brother, girlfriend, and it's like, this is just nice. This is nice.
Isn't it?
Just watching Saints footy, so stress-free, knowing we're going to win. And it's like, we were putting the foot down as well. Which
I know, it wasn't cruising,
it's
was it?
an un-Saints thing, I feel like, at least in recent history. So, so nice to watch. Do you have a point?
No, you go.
I was going to say,
jump into it.
I've been harping on about it the last few weeks. Thought the skipper responded really well.
Yeah, he did. He had a huge game.
No, I'm not trying to say he hasn't been, but 11 tackles, 22 touches, kicked a goal.
Yeah,
That's the Jack Steele game. I think people questioning his effort, I just can never get around that. He's trying every week. They all are, but, especially Jack Steele. The form's been down. I don't know if it's injury-based. I'm not going to use that as the excuse for him. Whatever he's been doing hasn't been right, but I think we are just so hard on this guy. I just can't get around, we hold him to a higher standard, and fair enough. But I think questioning his captaincy, questioning if he, if just pretty much writing off his career after a few losses. Do you think that's fair?
No, but I can see where they're coming from, and I think
criticism, of course.
I think it
was bad, but
to me now that's past. He played a good game. We move on. To me, I don't want to focus on him because he's him. Like,
Yeah.
I think in the next 12 to 18 months, he's not going to be anywhere near our best player. He's not going to be in our top 5 best players. That's realistic now. And that's where we want to be.
Yeah.
Don't we? We want Naz to be better than him.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
want Filippo to be better than him. Mitch Owens will be more important than him. Callum Wilkie, you know? So, to me, I just want him to play good footy. I don't need him to do anything amazing. I just need him to bust his gut, tackle the blokes, and do what's best for the team. And on the weekend, you watch that game, he didn't, you know, you don't like, oh my God, that's the best game he's ever played. But it's like, no, shit, he did his job. Like everyone else.
Yeah.
He led the way too. He did make some massive tackles at moments that maybe would be lost live. But if you watch the replay, you see...
He had 4 frees 4. So
that's what I mean.
At least
so
2 or 3 of them were on the balls.
Exactly my point. Like he laid some big tackles in big moments, and the momentum going one way, he shifted it back the other way.
Yeah.
Which is what I think that's when we know he's on.
Yeah.
When he's doing stuff like that. He's not having blokes run past him and he's not laying the tackle and not getting a glove on them. But it's nice. He's just got to bounce back, and another challenge against, you know, a player that he loves playing against Cripper.
True.
Yeah.
No, I agree like wholeheartedly that it's like, well, we're almost in this new era of Jack Steele, and it's like, you know, we don't want him to be in that top 5 player every game.
No.
But, you know, at the same time, that's a good thing for us, and we shouldn't be, instead of just saying, oh, well, he's not our best player anymore. It's like, okay, no, he's playing this new role for the team. Will he be captain next year? I don't know. Excuse me. But, good to see him bounce back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Should we jump into Mosh Man of the Match?
Let's do it.
Very quickly?
Yep.
All right. Who'd you vote for?
Cooper Sharman.
Yeah, a lot of people voted for Cooper
Yeah.
Sharman. I would have voted for him as well. But it was probably the trickiest one because Cal Wilkie at one end was phenomenal and influential in the win. Then you've got Jack McRae in the midfield. And then you've got even Mitch Owens forward. Kick 3, had a great game. And then you got Sharman, 4 goals, 2. What were his total stats if you got them there?
16 touches, 9 marks, 4 goals, 2 tackles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Should have, and
He
goal
could
of
have
the year
kicked
contender,
7.
mark of the year contender.
Could have kicked 7.
Should have kicked more, yeah.
Like, he missed some that I'm like, he's kicking this.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, watch the celebration, then he shanked it. I'm like, what's going on
And
here?
he just had like almost the Max King presence where just being in a contest had the opposition worried.
Yes.
And that was pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. And for a player that's not the biggest, like, undersized, his leap is just, it's elite, and his hands have always been so good. So hopefully now he starts to build a bit of consistency because, like you said before, he has 1 or 2 of these games a year where he looks like genuinely a top 10 forward in the comp.
Yeah.
He's got to back it up again this week.
No, I think McRae, like, stiff.
He's had 2 already.
He
McRae.
worked so hard.
He's had 2 Mosh Man of the matches already.
The aura around Sharman.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That gives him, a little bit more votes going his way.
I feel stupid saying that, but
aura. Yeah, don't get into that.
Beautiful. Should we get into some junk mail?
Yes, sounds good.
Let's do it.
Jake is junk mail. Jake is junk mail. Jake is junk mail. Jake is junk mail.
Jakey's junk mail.
Let's do it. This one is from ST Campitelli. How do we explain the gap between our present best, Geelong, Port Adelaide, Richmond, Fremantle, and our absent worst, Adelaide Giants, Brisbane Bulldogs? Is it just a feature of a young emerging team, or is it something else?
It's a great question. I think a lot of people want to give a black and white answers, but the answer is very complicated.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different moving parts. I think the 2 things that stick out for me is in the 2 games that we were terrible, Brisbane and the Bulldogs, our senior players just were nowhere near their best. I think it's crucial for us that they have to be firing. They carry the young boys with them. You know, the young boys can't carry the team themselves. So senior players have got to lift. And then, of course, no secret, the midfield. When it's firing, it looks fantastic, you know, Geelong and this week. But when it's not, it's hard to watch.
Yeah, I like the point of, you know, is that a feature of a young emerging team? And I think partly that would absolutely be it, you know. You're not going to get the same performance every week in anything, really. You're learning the ropes as you go. Abby is asking, would you say we've earned a pass or fail grade so far this season?
If it's one or the other, it's a pass for sure.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we said, to be 4-4 with the opposition we've played, Pass.
I mean, I'm sure if you went and looked at most people's tipping history for the first 8 weeks, they maybe would have tipped us twice.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know, maybe some people less if they really hate us. But I don't think we're that hated, are we?
Well, depends who you ask.
Yeah. Speaking of hated, Colby is asking, is this game against Carlton a true statement game for the club?
I mean, it's a massive game for both clubs. If Carlton lose this game,
They'll be 3 and 6.
You dare say their season's over.
Yeah, that'd be a shame.
3. That's a damn shame. But yeah,
it's because it's Friday night.
I can't tell you how big the game is. Friday night,
Spud's game.
Carlton, Spud's game. You know,
and it's a home game.
Home game for us,
Yep.
where both teams are positioned on the ladder. Yeah, it's massive. If we win this, man, it'll be a fun Friday night.
Yeah. God, don't get ahead of yourself, Jake.
Yeah.
Nick's asking, how good has our drafting been over the last 3 to 4 years?
Fantastic.
I mean, A+.
People want to troll us, you know, till the end of the time for drafting Jack Billings and Paddy McCartan, and maybe fairly so. But last few years, it's been really good. Like the kids that we're getting at the back end of the draft, the Collards, the Garcias, the Boxshalls. Let's not forget Owens and Windy are still pretty young. Obviously, both of them through the academy. And then Naz, you go back and that was a very good draft that year. But you go back and redraft that. Dacos and Darcy were both father-son anyway. Outside of those two, Naz is the number 1 pick at this stage for sure.
Yeah, and I saw they did a redraft of, I think, the 2023 draft. I think it was Darcy Wilson draft. They had him at pick 6.
Yeah.
We got him at 18.
Yeah.
How good's that?
Yeah. Same as if Philippou had have rolled into the draft the year later,
he would have been top
which he
2.
could have. Yeah. He would have been number 1 pick. We got him at, pick 7?
No, he was 10.
10? Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, Essendon didn't pick him up.
And he won't forget.
He'll never forget. Loz is asking, what are you looking forward to most about playing at the G on Friday? I mean, because, you know, you're running out with the boys. Can't wait to be out there kicking some snags.
Well, from a fan perspective, like all we've played 2 games there. We played the 150th against Essendon, which was awesome.
And Spud's game last year
against Collingwood, which was also great. Obviously, winning is a big factor. But the atmosphere is great. And I think, like, long term, we spoke about this a bit last year, but when we play, like, you know, the big Victorian clubs, your Carltons, your Collingwoods, your Essendons, I don't see why it can't be a home game for us at the G. We're drawing, like, these massive crowds once or twice a year. I mean, I think most Saints fans unanimously would agree that we enjoy, you know, going.
Love going to the G. Yeah. What do you think the crowd will be?
Oh, man.
75?
Yeah, 75. 75 plus for sure.
Yep.
80 would be awesome.
Mate.
Yeah.
I mean, if both teams came in a little bit better form,
true. Carlton maybe.
Nah, they'll turn up. They'll turn up.
They will, but.
Bo says, who needs talent when you have ticker? I mean, I don't mind that.
Yeah. It's true.
Like I said, before, I mean, that kind of makes up for the difference a little bit, doesn't it?
I mean, that's like what I said at the top of the show was about, like, it wasn't pretty, but it was just a dogfight, you know? And I think that's what Saints fans love to see. Like, yeah, we love our glimpses of Hollywood every now and then, but we're going to win games that way. And I love that. I love that that's a strong aspect of our game.
Yeah. Chad says, is it just me or does a win like Friday night feel more satisfying and entertaining than what the neutral sees? Is it because of the clear Ross style bought in by the group and executed perfectly that warms the heart?
Yeah.
I mean,
like I said already, who cares what the neutral thinks?
It did warm the heart though, didn't it? Just sitting there,
of course,
having I don't know, wine or whatever you were drinking. It does warm my heart.
Great to watch.
Yeah. I've got to back it up.
Yeah.
Charlie CJ is asking, junk mail, with all this talk about war chest and the whispers about Zach Butter's future, do you think there's any possibility we have him on the whiteboard very quietly and say, touchwood, Naz ends up deciding he wants to return home? Do you think Port would say yes to Nasiah plus a late first rounder for Butters and Bergman? In my opinion, this would be the only way I could justify losing Naz. Don't want 2 to 3 first rounders. I'd rather a star proven mid who fits our age demographic and a gun halfback who could not fully but slightly fill the role that Naz would leave behind. Love your work. I mean, that's massive.
That's a great junk mail. And it's funny because I was literally talking about this exact thing to someone today. But yeah, I think first of all, I think Naz is going to stay. So there's that. But let's just say he decides he wants to go. I want us to be absolutely ruthless at the trade table for him. He's not a free agent. He's not restricted. Nothing like that. He's just an out-of-contract player. We should be saying to Port Adelaide, Zach Butters
And Bergman.
and Bergman, or
Both of
when
them.
we're not coming to the trade table.
100%.
You know, or like if he's to go, we need to be very, very handsomely compensated. Can't say that word, but yeah, I think throwing Zach Butters in there would make the hurt of that go away.
Especially because it's such a need.
Yeah.
It's such a need. I mean, if Zach Butters walks into that midfield with Garcia, Filippo, Windy, Steele, McRae.
Like we said, won't solve everything, but
It won't,
I mean,
no.
that would be huge for us.
Yeah, not to mention Bergman would be nice.
Yeah.
Lucky last, we've got Tim from Norway. So I'll play that. I think we'll just chuck these on. You got to listen to it, mate. You got to embrace it. Tim from Norway, because last time we stuffed it, didn't we? I couldn't play it.
G'day boys, it's Tim in Norway with a special live from London poem this week. I'd say at this spot in the season, 4-4 is okay. 3 sound thrashings by 3 smashing sides and we could have called it a day. But now the fixture softens, 3 wins from 4 will be super. So if we want to increase to 7-5, just give the ball to Cooper.
There we go.
Fantastic.
How good was that? Tim from Norway. He was up and about. I feel like I've made amends for stuffing him up last time. He messaged me the next day. He's like, he didn't play it. I'm like, tech-wise, new studio and all that, but we got it sorted today. So thanks to everyone for sending that in. That was junk mail. Compared to the last 3 weeks, it's nice to be positive and talking about the good stuff in football.
The vibes are good in the room.
Yeah, and obviously we haven't mentioned Sammy is sick, so feel better, mate. He'll be back next week. But now we've got business to attend to.
Yeah.
Friday night, 7:40, Spud's game.
We've touched on it. Before we do, talk about how you're contributing to Spud's game.
Yes.
This year.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I should have rode in on a bike or something. No, Thursday, they're doing, I think many Saners would have seen on the socials, but they've put together a campaign, Spud's Ride, which is going to be really exciting. So it's going to be running from 2 p.m. Thursday to 2 p.m. Friday, non-stop, 24 hours around the MCG. And obviously, the main messaging behind that is, don't do it alone. You've got someone with you. You've got your friend or partner to talk to. And so I'm going to be teaming up with Terry from Blue Abroad. So Carlton Saints, it makes sense. I didn't realise we would be sharing a bike, but we will, I think, be on the same bike riding
awesome.
around the MCG.
Need to see a photo of that.
And obviously, we'll put a link in the bio to help donate and raise funds for mental health, as the club's been doing an awesome job. So, we're on, I think, at 11 p.m. I'd like to think 11 p.m. Thursday night till midnight. So Sainers, if you're awake, there's no Thursday night football, is there? No, obviously not. Yeah. So if you're walking around the MCG at midnight, say g'day to myself and Terry. We'll be getting involved, which is awesome, and really kind of St Kilda invite us into doing that.
Yeah, just fantastic initiative. Everything the club's done with the Danny Frawley Centre, Spud's game. It makes me proud to be a Saints fan for sure. I love what they're doing, trying to make this a marquee game. Like Neil Danaher's done with the Big Freeze, which is such a fantastic cause as well. So, Danny Frawley's legacy is definitely living on at the club, which is just fantastic to see. So, let's talk about the game itself. We've already touched on it, but what a massive game this is for the club.
For both. I mean, it feels like more recent times, every time we play Carlton, there's something on the line. I can't remember a game we've played Carlton in the last 2 or 3 years where it hasn't been important. Like even 2023, they were making a run for finals. They needed to beat us. We wanted to try and remain in the 8. They ended up beating us, but and then last year, obviously, Jack Higgins, we all know that story, and Freo couldn't get the job done that night. But we took the chocolates by 2 points in a cliffhanger to end our year.
Yeah.
And we've kind of kicked on in ways. They're kind of hovering a bit. We don't really know kind of like us, we don't know what Carlton's going to turn up.
Yeah.
But what we do know is they've got some pretty damn good players that on their day can take a game away from you. And, Paddy Cripps is one of them.
Yeah.
Charlie Kerner's another. Harry Mackay, Jacob Wiedering, Sam Walsh. So we're going to have to be on our game.
the other thing we know is they've beaten one side out of the top 3. So
Yes. The last 6 wins, 4 of them have come against Richmond and I believe North and West Coast, I think.
Yep.
I was going to say Richmond, but Richmond beat them. Set that up nicely. And then the other 2 wins, weirdly, is Geelong, which is a team that's now our bunny.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're coming into this, the Adelaide. I mean, I watched that game. It was very easy for Adelaide.
Very similar to
10
our
goal.
outing against them in round 1.
Yes.
First of all, I just want to say, I don't think they want to admit it, but I think Jack Higgins is living in their head rent-free at the minute. they say, oh, we made finals anyway. It doesn't matter. Well, you got rolled by 10 goals, but that was a bit traumatizing for them as fans to go
even
through
for a
the
couple
3
of
hours of pain after Higo kicked that snap. So I think they'll just quietly, they might not want to admit it, but they're going to be wanting some revenge on Friday night for sure.
100%. I think they'd all be, they'd be silly not to be a little bit nervous. I think both sides of the fan bases are going to be nervous because we're 4-4. We win, we go to that positive side, and then we've got some winnable games. And obviously for them to be 3-5, to be 4-5 is a bit more balanced, not 3-6. It's a bit hard to come back from there. But I think I've said this for years with Carlton. If you negate the inside ball, they have nothing on the outside.
Yep.
Not compared to us, not compared to some of the better teams. Their brand is contested football. Contested football. Obviously, that's a part that we've struggled with in the last 3 weeks, but we never struggle when the ball comes on the out.
Yeah.
We don't struggle to get it inside 50. I mean, we did against some of the better teams, but I mean, we don't struggle to score when it's in there.
Yeah.
And I don't think they're keeping us to 30 inside 50s like the Dogs and Brisbane.
I think what we did on the weekend was a great
It's a blueprint to beat them.
Yeah, for what we can do against sides like Carlton. I just think our best will win. I'm scared to say it, but I'm going to anyway. I'm quietly confident about this game. My general feel is to be confident. Yeah, you know what? Go for it. I don't care. I'm gonna back them in this week. I haven't been this confident all year.
Mate, you're setting this up so you don't have to deal with the DMs after a loss like me, mate. I'm going to get some Carlton fans. I'm going to get Terry. I'm going to get Blue Abroad fans coming over to the channel 11 p.m. Friday night going, what'd you say on the pod? I'm like, I didn't say it. I already did. Here's his details.
If we lose, send them all to me. I don't care. I'm honestly pretty confident we're going to win this game. I just think the occasion, our form, despite those terrible losses, I think we're starting to find the right mix. Obviously, easy to say coming off a loss. They've been smashed, but I don't know. I've got a feeling about this one.
Maybe get Filippo back. Mason Wood as well. We didn't talk about concussion. He'll be almost an automatic in.
That's an underrated player to be missing.
I mean, a winger that can go back and take marks and also go forward and be another tall.
And just he's
huge versatility.
One of our most important senior players on the list for sure. So,
100%.
That's my general feel. What's your
my feel is if we play at least the best football we've played this season, we'll win. The only thing and it's always the same with Carlton, they have more A-graders. And I don't want to get sucked into that world, but they do. It's a fact. They have all Australians. They have they've 2 Coleman medalists.
Yep.
We have no one in the front half. But I've always thought that they have a team of stars and we're just a better team, or at least a more well-drilled team, and we have a better coach, I think.
Yep.
So I think Ross has, set us up nicely to beat a team like them. But we just can't have... And we forget the crowd, the momentum that a team like Carlton can get on when they're going to have the majority of the fans at the game. That's a fact. We're not even going to argue that. Yeah. They'll have
more
60%, maybe more of the people there,
which is more reason to get down. So
100% more reason to get down. But you just don't want them to just get on a roll. Yeah. They're one of those teams that they could play one quarter and that's enough.
Yeah.
Because Kerner can get hold of you and kick 4 or 5. Mackay can kick 4 or 5. I think Silvani will come back and shore up that back line. He's been good down there with Jacob Wiedering, so he was a big loss on the weekend. But I think that we've got the tools. I think we match up well, and we've won 7 of the last 10. We are a little bit of a bogey team for them at the moment.
Yeah, agreed.
That's my balanced view.
I know. I hear what you're saying, and I do agree that it's they do just have a knack of they're a strong momentum team. If they get on a run, they kick 3 or 4 in a row, their crowd's going to go nuts, and it's an overwhelming pressure as a player to deal with when they're just when they get on a roll like that, which they're definitely capable of, I just expect us to suffocate them, kill all of their confidence, and then hopefully negate any possibility of them going on a run.
Well, the biggest asset that we've got is rebound and that outside ball, and that's their biggest weakness. So I've always said, anytime we play them, if we can just even break even in the midfield, still go head-to-head with Cripper.
Yeah.
Even if Cripper gets 30 and still gets 29 and lays 5-6 tackles, that's almost a win. And then you let McRae get off the chain, Garcia, and like our midfielders, they all found the form they needed on the weekend, so that's perfect for playing the Hewitts, who's been good, Cripps, Walsh,
This is
and De Koning.
Yeah.
I mean, De Koning's been in better form than Rowe, so Rowe's going to have to lift.
I wonder if De Koning will run out with the Carlton jumper.
Imagine like it was like the EPL where they just announced it on the night.
Oh my god!
Like, oh, by the way, this deal's done. So
Yeah.
I don't think this result's obviously going to affect that decision at the end of the year. But I mean,
It's already been made, so
yeah, I mean, that'd be nice. But yeah, it's a huge game. I'm a little bit nervous. I'm always nervous playing the Blues.
yeah, I'm nervous just because I want to win so badly. I haven't wanted to win this much all year.
Yeah, this and Geelong are the two that I always look at and go, I got to win
Same.
them. Just
But
win those
Just
two.
like what it would do to them plus what it would do for us. Like, I'm just like, wow,
And-
what an opportunity for us.
And that experience for some of these players, like Boxall, is going to run out in front of 75, 80,000 people.
Yeah.
Garcia for the first time.
Yeah, I mean,
This is huge for them.
it's a massive game for Steele as well because, like, obviously we touched on how he's been getting criticised. This is like the classic Steele matchup coming up against Cripps. Let's see, if he's still got it in a way. So
Yeah, does he revert back to just that brilliant tagger that we loved when he
Yeah.
first came, and he locks down but also finds enough
just
of the
plays
ball?
off of him.
Yeah, exactly. So, and what do they do with McRae? Like, we're talking about a lot of their players, obviously, but what are their matchups for Higgins? Like,
Yep.
Higgins, he loves the G.
Yeah.
How many times has he gotten off the chain? Essendon, Collingwood last year, kicking a couple of those goal of the years from the boundary. I mean, he knows the G very well from his Richmond days, but this is a game where he could hurt them because who would play on him?
Don't know everyone in their back line right now.
Yeah, it wouldn't be Doherty.
No,
I mean,
I
they've
don't
just
know if
brought him
he's
in.
even in the side. Right?
He played on the weekend.
Yeah. Okay.
He might even be out. I'm not sure, but
Yeah.
I think our
it's a good question to
medium-sized,
pose.
like Owens, Sharman, even Wood if he comes in. If Filippo comes in and he can float forward
Do
too.
we expect him to come in? He
Um,
was out with a corky,
yeah,
surely.
I think we'll know. I think when that injury report drops and they just say he needs to get through tests, I think that's he's in.
Yeah, because if nothing had have happened last week, he was coming into that
Yeah,
side for
100%.
sure.
So if he was ready last week until the last minute, and he's ready this week, he'll play.
Yeah.
And it's written in the stars for him to come in and
Yeah.
do something
exactly.
special.
And as well, let's not forget the last time he played was against them, and he
was
almost
good.
won the game for us and
Yeah.
didn't.
Yeah.
Hugo eventually did, thank God.
Yeah.
But another thing just about them going on a run, we were in a pretty comfortable position last year against them in that round 24 game,
Yeah.
and then they did go on a big run.
And that was without Kerno and Mackay.
Yeah, okay.
They had Kemp forward, who's injured for the year. So
Jesse Motlop kicked the goal to put him in front.
if we didn't have, if Howard hadn't had 2 games under his belt like he's had, I'd be worried. Like if this was the week Howard came in, I'd be worried.
Yeah.
But he's settled. He's got that sort of chemistry back with Wilkie and the rest of the backline. Stocker as well. Webster. Like we haven't talked about them, but Stocker's job on Shai Bolton was phenomenal.
Stocker's just stockering.
They've got Motlop and a few other smalls down there. I think Durden's pretty dangerous on his day. So we've got the matchups.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of negating the source to get it to those players.
I'd honestly say I'm more worried about us than I am about them. They can dish up whatever, but I'm worried about what we're going to dish up.
Yeah.
But I'm confident enough to say from what we saw last week, we'll be all right. We're not going to come out and do another Bulldogs or a Lions or an Adelaide.
Stop saying things that can come back. Stop. Don't get ahead of yourself, mate.
I haven't done
Have you
this
not learnt your lesson?
When did I get ahead of myself before?
Right now. I'm looking at it. We've beaten Freo just one of our last 4. Let's just...
4. No, we're going to roll them.
All right. Well, I got nothing else to say. Support Spud's game. Get there if you can. Also donate as well. And obviously Spud's ride Thursday night. I'll be getting involved with other sort of influencers as well, which will be a lot of fun. But yeah, just get the job done, boys. Absolutely. This is, camera right here. You have no idea how much this will mean to me if we can beat Carlton.
All of us.
All of us. But really, I don't like this team. I don't
None of
like
us
this
do.
team.
Are they? For
Them
me,
and Geelong.
It's Geelong. Yeah, same.
They're level now.
Yeah.
They've almost merged into one team.
Yeah.
So,
And I just want to say, Jake, it's been such a pleasure being on the podcast. If we do lose, it might have to be my last episode. So.
no, I'm already looking. I'm already thinking about who could jump in. So, yeah.
There's a lot riding on this one.
Yeah. Give us something inspirational to close. Come on, give us, because you've done it a few times.
Okay.
You've gone full inspiration. Give us a
true.
little speech.
It's true. I think.
Can we dim the lights?
I think the example that Danny Frawley set as skipper for this club, it's just that heart on your sleeve mentality. I think Philippou represents that well, so I hope he comes back in. But heart on your sleeve, tough Saints footy.
Play the jumper.
It'll get the job done.
Awesome. Love that.
We'll see you on Friday night.
Go you Sainers. Let's
the
go.
Saints.